Hello and welcome to today's presentation of Cvent's platform. We'll be giving you a full tour of end-to-end with everything, where you can start, where you can grow from, and how to maximize your relationship with Cvent and make sure that the platform is powering your program to its full capacity. My name is Michael Weber. I'm a director of sales as part of our enterprise division. And we'll be leading today's presentation. Before we get started, let me give you a little bit of background on who Cvent is. We've been in the marketplace for 25 years, 4,900 strong, and are essentially the most comprehensive meeting and event ecosystem out there, with over 7 million events managed since 1999. And so what we're going to cover today is a number of different things, but as I mentioned, it'd be important for us to go back and really talk about where we've been so that we can understand better where we're going, right? And so event professionals, obviously our lives have all been changed by COVID-19 and some of the impacts that started on some of our business, right? But regardless of whether you are running a single event format like the tab on the left there, or running multi-event formats, Cvent is here to support you, right? To support your process, to support your program, to support your stakeholders in your organization. And that is an important factor to remember as we're going through this, something about a total event program and the best way for us to support you through that. So an important question for us to start with is, how can Cvent help you deliver on growing expectations? The marketplace is ever changing, and it is important for us as event professionals to stay at the bleeding edge. So before we go any further, let's pause, ask ourselves an important question. How can Cvent help you deliver on the growing expectations that your stakeholders, audience, customers, and prospects are bringing to the table every single day? We want to ensure that we're giving them the kind of delight and special experiences that they've come to expect out of you. So let's take a quick look at a video which will take us through what a total event program could and should look like. So as you just saw, right, your program is specific to you, but Cvent is there to support your program, whatever it looks like, right? So before we dive into specifics, I want to highlight Cvent's flexibility here to support you. Whether you are running a single important individual event for your program, like a sales kickoff or a user conference or an event for your CEO, or you're looking to manage a full total event program, Cvent is to support you regardless of the type, size, or location. And as we move forward, we want to make sure that we are driving a personalized, curated experience, right? Something to impress your attendees, to help you stand out from your competitors. And that's why you engage with a Cvent who has, or a company like Cvent, has the kind of experience and depth and breadth to manage whatever kind of a program you've got, right? Most organizations start with some sort of a front door, right? A meeting request that often has an approval process through that, right? The idea here is that you are empowering not only you and your stakeholders who have to manage the process thereafter, but the field, where often these processes begin. This kicks off a workflow and will drive through a process here to ensure that folks feel enabled and informed through that process. Access portal allows not just your power users, the folks that are in Cvent every day, but those stakeholders and executives to be able to run reports, extract event data, see appointment calendars, travel policies, etc. Give them access to manage that, but stay out of the weeds within Cvent. We also have modules that help you manage speakers, right? Something that we commonly hear are some of the challenges in ensuring that speakers feel empowered, on time, on schedule, and prepared for day of, regardless of the format, whether that be a digital format for a virtual event or in person. Right? Cvent's there to ensure that those logistics and tasks are on spec and on time. And taking another slice at this or another view, in addition to helping you manage speakers and the intake process, often a venue is of uber importance. And for many of your local events or things that are nearby, you often have an understanding of what is right there in your backyard. But as you all know, two different things are common. The marketplace changes, right? New hotels, new venues, new experiences pop up in your backyard on a regular basis. Additionally, many of us are sourcing way above and beyond what our local expertise is. And so Cvent's supplier network is the largest single library of venues and experiences globally. You can quickly build and send RFPs, compare prices, and find and source other providers like AV and transportation right there for you. And so once you've secured a venue, you want to now ensure that you are designing your space to continue to delight and create the kind of experiences that your attendees are looking for. I'm just going to walk you through a quick video on what it would look like to use Cvent to diagram your space. All right, so let's level set for a moment because we've seen a lot already. We've talked about the way in which we can grab intake from the audience. We can start to source venues that are out there. We can help manage and collect data and information to be shared with stakeholders and speakers. And we've even talked about how to diagram our room. And that leads us to one of the next key phases, is streamlining the room block management process for all of us, right? So using Cvent's tool Passkey to manage your room block is really the next phase for many of us. We want to try and remove the onerous Excel spreadsheet, email, phone call process, confusion that can happen for our audience, and make it a streamlined, easy process, again, to empower your attendees to work through that process on their own. So you can create custom booking websites that easily integrate with your event registration, reduce errors, and improve attendee pickup. One of my favorite pieces for Passkey, because my family and I like to do this, is tack on some additional stay either on the front end or the back end of the trip. So shoulder dates can be built right into that process if your attendees are going to a location that they want to spend some additional time, either again on the front end or the back end. You can also build and design incredible event websites. So for those of you who have been customers of Cvent for a while, this is often one of the first places that you touch and feel our platform today. For those of you who are not familiar, this has been a core competency of Cvent for the entire depth and breadth of our 25 years in the marketplace. And so that the latest evolution of that process allows for incredible website design through a drag and drop interface, live preview as changes are made, and incredible control over the design and styling that is representative of your brand and what you're trying to communicate out to the audience. You can use things like theming or CSS built into that. Obviously, the beauty of this here is that you don't have to also go in and recreate the wheel each and every time that you are building a website. Much of this can be done, templated, and then reapplied for future events for a similar look and feel. Additionally, these websites are responsive. They look great on any device, whether that is desktop, mobile, or otherwise. Additionally, you can leverage our tools to help highlight your sponsors, and we're going to talk in the next couple of slides on some of the event marketing tools, as well as the way you can help highlight your sponsors and ensure that they feel empowered and a part of the event as well. So every event starts with communication, and Cvent's powerful event marketing automation is ready. It's ready built into your event management. So if you're running a multi-channel marketing tool that includes social or email, websites, or partners, Cvent is there to support that process. And we want to use some intelligence built into that to help you retarget and ensure that your message is following along with the behavior of your event prospects and attendees. So using some of that intelligence, we can create populated forms or email or notifications that respond to somebody's behavior. So for example, we want to ensure that the right message is going out to the right audience. When somebody says yes, let's send out some information to keep them moving through the process. If they say no, that's okay. We can collect some data and information through retargeted questions or some remarketing for regrets. Next, through personalized outreach, taking this just a step further, again, we want to help you stay on brand and curate the kind of experience that you're looking for. So using Cvent's email marketing tools, we can create personalized emails, segment messaging by attendee types, and drive the kind of experiences from the beginning that your audience is expecting through you. Additionally, you've got most likely complex audiences through your event. So if you want to create the right kind of experience for each of your different audience types, you can use that through limited visibility, registration paths, which are dynamic to different registration types. And frankly, table stakes here, but pre-populate personal information for all of your attendees based on your registrant list or your address book, which may live within Cvent. Registration details are meant to be common throughout the process as well. So as folks move through that process, whether in a digital format like this or through a mobile experience, which we're going to talk about in the next few slides, it should feel personalized with session recommendations, a personalized schedule, and something that helps them feel a part of the event from the beginning, right? Certainly there should be a room for genericized event level messaging, but that extra level of personal communication and experience is what will set you apart from your competitors. So moving further along here, we've spent a lot of time in pre-event, and now we're moving towards an on-site attendee experience. And Cvent is there to help you create better in-person experiences. As you all know, because we're in the events business, that first moment is the most important. So we've got powerful tools that can help power that kind of experience for your audience from the beginning, using contactless event check-in and badge printing, session capacity management, unobtrusive RFID tracking, all to be displayed for you and your stakeholders with active updates, real-time updates in a dashboard setup like this. As I mentioned on the badge printing, we can create the kind of branded experience that we're carrying through from the earliest moments of your event all the way through to this process. There's a lot of badges out there, and the right kind of badge should not be something that's out of your reach and should be able to be printed right there. So Cvent's advanced printing allows you to, again, create that kind of experience right there for your audience, whether that's simple black and white or to large format, which we're looking at here on the screen. And as I mentioned earlier, Cvent's mobile app, powered by Attendee Hub, is for a connected event experience. Unlike many other providers that are out there, this is built right into our platform. So as I mentioned, when that event starts early through that intake or collection process through our meeting request form, all of the data and information and work that's done to create that kind of event experience that you're looking for carries through our platform. And so much of that branding, feel, and experience and personalization shows up right here within the mobile application. What you come to expect with Cvent is here built into this web app as well, or this mobile app as well. Push notifications, which can be sent out to individualized audiences or individuals, or on the large scale if you need to communicate writ large. And most importantly, help folks engage with content, with each other, and create the kind of special curated experiences that they need. As I mentioned, great attendee experiences should not just start just on the registration side or with the venue, but they need to be carried through from the content side. As I mentioned, notifications are a great way to power that process, interactive maps so that folks feel empowered to explore your floor, and we can open discussions through the activity feed to help curate those kinds of unique crowdsourced experiences that you can't get elsewhere. The Attendee Hub allows you to extend that engagement, right? So we talked about ways to connect audience. Now we can connect content or humans to content and audiences to content, not just on pre-event or during the event, but certainly through post-event, through things like post-event survey and feedback, on-demand sessions through our video library, continued networking, and future events through our event calendar. And as we've all come to know, virtual solutions are not just something of the past, they're here to stay. And Cvent's virtual platform breaks down into two primary categories, right? Webinars, which we're all familiar with and have been in the marketplace for a long time, and virtual events. And those can look like a number of different things. All of that is supported on an on-demand basis by Events Plus, a video library and content library available to all of you, right? But ultimately, we want you to be able to plan and execute those events from one platform, right? We've also got complex studio broadcasts and collaboration tools, Simulive, to power whatever kind of virtual event you're looking for. All right. So most importantly for many of us is the way in which we can connect exhibitors to attendees, attendees to attendees, and sales and marketing back to attendees as well. So Cvent's got a number of different tools that allow you to do that. We're going to focus in on appointment scheduling for those attendees as well. So we can offer exhibitor sponsorship, return on investment calculations here back through appointment, whether those be virtual appointments, pre-scheduled appointments, or one-to-one meetings, which help foster connections back to leads, sales, or brand awareness. With the help of this technologies, attendees can view their schedule, make informed decisions, and connect with the folks that they want to connect to. So taking a look here, this is what the interface would look like through Cvent's mobile application. It's a large attendee list. Those folks have got their own profiles. We can set up opportunities for folks to connect, not only through one-to-one messaging, but impromptu appointments, either set there in person or in advance, as we mentioned. So engagement doesn't just happen between individuals. We also want to curate attendee engagement at the session level, right? So just like today, where you've got Q&A and chat on the side of the page, we've also extend that to other sessions as well. So what you're seeing on the left-hand side is a poll that can be run, a game center for gamifications throughout the process, and then topic-based chat to help engage folks where they are around the topics that they're looking to discuss. All of this drives data and information into your event to allow you to do a number of different things. Create a better event for next year, engage your audience where they are, or ultimately create leads on the backside of this. Additionally, it allows your audience, again, to continue to feel connected and a part of the event that you've worked your collective butts off here to make a wonderful experience. So moving forward to exhibitor and sponsor. So you spend, again, a lot of time, energy, and effort working with these sponsors to create the kind of experiences that they're looking for. And part of this is to ensure that they feel incorporated in the process. So we want to ultimately give control for those folks to be able to run the kind of experiences that they're looking for and maximize their exposure, whether that be through virtual booths, one-to-one meetings, or the ability to serve up documents and media back to those folks. All of that can be done with self-service tools through our exhibitor portal. Those folks can help themselves to register booth staff and assign licenses out, see what is out there for them still outstanding, so you can create tasks for those folks. They can manage appointments and access leads in real time, right? For most of us, the return on investment calculation that's built for our exhibitors and sponsors is tied directly to leads. So gone are the days where you need to manage that process for them on their behalf, deliver those leads at some future point. All of that's managed real time in the portal by the exhibitors and sponsors themselves, giving them the power to execute on their sales and marketing motions. Narrowing the focus here again to leads and lead scoring, whether that be virtual or in person, Cvent's lead scoring tools help folks capture leads real time right there, right? That's, as we all know, as event professionals, as sales professionals, marketing professionals, that moment is the most important moment when you are shaking hands at the booth, on the floor, and making some sort of a connection. So using our tool real time, you can rate leads, insert notes, and create the kind of sales motion that is important for all of us, right? So that we can make informed decisions about those leads. Ultimately, that allows you to score those leads and create the right kind of follow-up thereafter. Many of our customers make decisions about where those leads go, right? If a lead rises to a certain score, that might go directly to sales. If it doesn't, still needs some warming up, you might move that onto marketing for further information. Okay. And these are just some examples of real-time actions that can be taken right there on the floor. You can serve up additional information, add in additional notes, or create appointments with those folks right from the same interface. And at the end of the day or at the end of the show, you've got right there in front of you at the user level or rolled up at the admin level, a view of what has actually transpired. You can go back, edit those notes, edit those leads, make additional changes, or be able to report on right there what each individual has collected and what those leads look like for them. All right, so we talked about front door, creating the kind of curated experiences that are required by our stakeholders, by our audience, in order to stay bleeding edge. Create digital experiences in virtual formats or in mobile formats for our audiences to connect back to content, back to networking opportunities, and connect to content over the long term, not just right there. And then most importantly, creating those delightful experiences on site from the first moment with check-in, badging, and all that. All of that is creating data and information and analytics so that we can make better decisions about what our event program looks like. So as I mentioned, Cvent really is a digital logging tool in many ways, right? Each tool set, each interaction, each moment creates a digital record. As you add more and more touch points across that process, either at the individual event level or across an event program, you're creating a much more fleshed out view of what that event did for you or did not do. How did folks engage with your content? And all of that score helps you make better decisions, better choices, and build better events into the future. Here's an example of our engagement scoring right here live. With this data collected, you can give engagement scoring to help marketing and sales teams, again, make better decisions. If Ted Danson here from Anheuser-Busch has got a 100% engagement score, that's somebody that we want to reach out to. Send them additional content, connect with sales, and move that conversation forward. Obviously, with folks with lower engagement scores, we want to make better decisions about the content that they were delivered or engage with those folks in a different way. Here's an example of what some of that live reporting can look like from a dashboard perspective. And again, all of this can be shared with your stakeholders through the access portal that we looked at earlier. So again, taking a quick look here, data and information should not just live within Cvent. Cvent's App Marketplace allows you to collect data and information collected within Cvent out to other tools that are a part of your ecosystem, or from other tools that are a part of your ecosystem back into Cvent. It's important to take a 360 view of what your ecosystem looks like and ensure that you are empowering all of those tool sets to do the jobs that they need to for you to create the kind of program that you need to. All right, so we focused a lot on events that we are responsible for and that we're hosting. Now we're going to pivot and take a look at the shows that we attend, trade shows, right? So if you're attending a trade show, we want to give you a quick introduction on the ways in which Cvent can help you empower that process. They really break down into two primary categories. Lead capture through iCapture. Tool helps you to streamline and automate that process regardless of where you are. So again, universally applied here, we want to help you avoid some of the pitfalls in using these show originated tools to collect those leads. We're going to dive into iCapture in a moment here. Same thing with Jiffle Now, automated business-to-business scheduling tool that helps you schedule, manage, and analyze the appointments that your group or your attendees rather are taking in person, whether those be virtual or there at the trade show in person. So diving into iCapture, this helps you, again, not just capture leads, but capture leads intelligently regardless of where you are, right? The beauty of iCapture is that we can create common data sets across all of the trade shows in your program, right? Ask similar questions or the same questions by business unit. So let's take the average organization, right? Let's say that you've got 5 different business units that are out there, and you each attend 10 trade shows per year, right? What we want to do is remove the silos between that data set for each of those different groups and ensure that you are not only creating better intelligence and automating that process wherever possible, but you're ensuring that you've got protected data and compliance. And most importantly, that information is syncing back real time back to CRM, whether that be Salesforce or your CRM of choice, back to marketing automation platforms for real-time follow-up or what have you. iCapture helps you, again, create standard experiences at all of your events, better data, better decisions, better leads. Speed to lead is the most important piece here, and that real-time integration is the real value. In addition to iCapture, appointments are a key part of the trade shows that you're attending, right? And we want to create, again, a seamless, standardized process for those appointments, not to just show up and be there, but to be leveraged in the right way for your audience. So Jiffle now allows you to manage those workflows in a standardized process. Again, connect that back to other tool sets or report right there real time within the platform, regardless of where you are, right? So we don't have to work through Outlook and work through that process. It's built right here. It's connected back to whatever calendar you're using as well, so folks can work either within the platform or out in other tool sets. We want to try and create quality and efficient experiences for everybody. So again, Cvent is here for the long term. We've been here for 25 years. We'll be here for the next 25. And we want to help you manage your total event program. And ultimately, that's driven by a dedication to service, right? We've got a 24/7 support team that's award-winning and focused not just on helping you solve the problem, but helping you avoid those challenges into the future, right? We've got a complete training program that also helps you empower yourself as well as your audience, or excuse me, as well as your team to deliver on the requirements of your program and scale to the level that you need to. We've also got professional services support where needed, right? So staffing concerns are prevalent all over the place, right? And certain events require an additional level of support. We're here to build the kind of program and support that you need for your events, wherever they are, whatever they look like. And finally, all of that is great, but if you're not compliant with whatever the latest requirements are, none of that matters. So Cvent gives you the peace of mind of knowing that your data is secure, both from a GDPR perspective, CPA, or any of the other constraints that you may have from a compliance perspective. Cvent is on top of that. We are SOC compliant, ISO compliant, and are really one of the key leaders in this. And we take this extremely seriously. And it is really a security first approach to the way in which we engage with you, your audience, and your data. And perhaps overlooked at some level, but certainly should not be, is our powerful community. When you join Cvent as a customer, you not just join great technology and great service, but you join the thousands of other folks who have come to trust our team and our technology. And our job is to continue to facilitate the power of that ecosystem and open that up to you as a customer, to tap into that knowledge, tap into the 25 years of experience and all the wonderful folks who are a part of our customer ecosystem. So before we wrap, I want to give you one quick view again on what we talked about, right? Cvent is there for you, whatever your event program looks like. We talked about a single event. but Cvent is there to scale down or scale up to whatever you're looking for, right? Here's an example of what a total event program could look like. Internal, external, we talked about trade shows. Cvent is there to help you support that process, whatever it looks like, across various different delivery models, in-person, virtual, hybrid events, webinars, whatever they look like. We've been here for 25 years, as I mentioned. We are going to be here into the future, and we are there to support you through your process. If you're ready to learn more, which hopefully many of you are, I'd also like to extend to you a $100 Amazon gift card. So please sign up for a demo with us. We'll pop the link into the chat. To any recipients that are outside of the US, the gift card can be converted from $100 USD to another currency available of your choosing. This is the end of the actual presentation. And so if you have to jump, thank you very much for attending. But we're going to stick around and answer any questions that you may have. And just as a reminder, enter those questions into the Q&A function on the right-hand side of your page. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Shannon here, Senior Account Manager on the Enterprise team, based in our London office. As you can probably tell from my accent, I'll be guiding us through the Q&A portion of today. Thank you to everyone who has already been getting involved. If you do have any time left with us today, we do invite you to submit your questions on the right-hand panel. So let's have a look. So for our first question that we have here, we have, do my team or I need any coding skills to work with the Cvent web builder? This is a great question. No, you do not. So the Cvent platform uses drag and drop technology to personalize that experience for you. So you don't need to have any element of coding or a degree in technology to use the platform. You can also personalize your templates after that. So it makes it a much more efficient way of working, so that you can save time when you are then creating multiple events across different events. Next up, we have a question around passing information to your CRM system, and if we integrate with common platforms. So I love this question because it is really top of mind at the moment. Data really is the new currency of events. It's business critical that we can get that contact information or engagement data into the right hands, whether that be to your salespeople to enable them to have timely follow-up, or helping drive those higher conversion rates for your marketing teams. So we have multiple out-of-the-box systems that you can connect to, one of our strongest being the Salesforce app, or there is the opportunity to connect to your MarTech systems with the out-of-box connector with Eloqua. On top of that, we do also have our esteemed colleagues who are engineers and can look at consulting you on setting up custom integrations if there are more specific data fields from other systems, such as Microsoft Dynamics, that you'd like to connect to. And just another prompt here that you can submit any more questions that you have in the Q&A section on the side. I'm going to move to our third question here. So regarding professional services support, do I need the on-site at the use of your solutions, e.g. badging equipment? So this speaks to our on-site solutions, where you have two different service choices to pick from. So you have the On-Arrival 360, which is our white glove service. This includes a project manager to handle everything pre-event, so things like ordering the badges, setting up the artwork, organizing that shipping to the venue. And they will then come on site with you to do setting up the technology, helping to handle any troubleshooting throughout the day, and will then do the takedown and take away of the badging equipment. Or you have the opportunity, if it is a smaller event, to use our on-arrival premium service, which is the same equipment, only self-service. So that's when you would be using our thermal printers. They're really easy to set up, really easy to use. You can look at organising that on your own without our project manager. So it's up to you on the complexity of your event, what would we decide to go with, whether that's going to be self-service or if it makes more sense to have the Cvent team on site with you. Okay, next up, a nice simple one. Is your mobile app available on Apple and Android? Yes, and the Cvent app is available on both Apple and Android. So here we have, is it possible to personalize the content shown on the mobile app for different users at the same time? So yes, it is possible to personalize that experience. There's a few different ways that we could do that, whether it would be by their registration type. So this is something that you would set at the start of creating the event, where you would have a different pathway. So say, for example, your VIP would be able to see certain sessions like your VIP networking event, whereas your standard attendee would not have visibility of those sessions. So we can personalize it from a schedule standpoint. We can also personalize the homepage. So not only have the greeting, hello, Shannon, on that front homepage, but also personalize it from a timed perspective. So on the first day of the event, you may want to include a welcome video showing attendees around the technology or, for instance, the venue. Whereas on the last day of the event, you might want to personalize the home screen with other features, say, for instance, your feedback survey. And then finally, the other way we can personalize it is through session recommendation. So based on your attendee's profile, we could then look into elements of the agenda and give them recommendations on which sessions would be best for them to attend. Thank you everyone who is submitting questions into the Q&A at the moment. We are going to be here until the top of the hour, so 11 a.m. So please feel free to carry on submitting. When do you suggest using iCatcher over Cvent's other lead capture tools? So this is an area that Cvent has recently invested in with the acquisitions that were made at the start of the year. So the trade show suite has become a lot wider. This is made up of iCatcher, as mentioned in the question, which is one of our lead retrieval tools, but you also have the opportunity to use lead capture, which is one of Cvent's previous lead retrieval tools. My recommendation to clients is when it's an event that you're hosting yourself, it would be better to use the lead capture tool. And when it's an event that you're attending, say for instance a trade show, then that would be when we'll be looking at using the iCatcher tool. So next here we have, is engagement data available in real time / same day to help understand how my event performs? So this is a great question because, as I said again, engagement data is really important in today's view of events. So I am happy to confirm that this data is live. So you have, and Michael did show it throughout the webinar there, but the reason that my clients love the engagement score is that you can base those data points on your own event goals. So say for the sponsor engagement piece is really key to you, we can give sponsor engagement 100 points for any action within the app relating to sponsors. Maybe they check out the sponsor booth, we can give that 100 points. However, networking isn't something that you're focusing on, so that could be 10 points. This then adds up to give you a list of the most engaged attendee to the least engaged attendee, and that data is live. So gone are the days we need to wait until after the event to check in and see how we do. You can actually check that data on the hour, see how the event's performing, which puts the power back in the event planner's hands, because then they have the opportunity to offset anything where you might be receiving poor feedback. So say, for instance, you may check it on the live engagement score and see that at 12 p.m. everybody dropped off for lunchtime. You can then send out a push notification encouraging attendees to come back into the session and get involved again in the event. Okay, we've got some great questions here. Let's have a look at some of the other pieces. Thanks, Isabel, for your question. So we have here, I like the trade fair leads capturing, as often trade fairs organisers don't share the contact information of visitors using GDPR as an excuse. When using eye capture, which information do you get? This is a great question, especially to the GDPR point, because it's something that comes up very often in our region. So with eye capture, you have a couple options of capturing that information. So whether that be scanning the QR code, or it could be inputting that data information yourself, or you could transcribe a business card as well. So in terms of the information that's shared with eye capture, that's usually set on the host side. So the person who gathered the registration, what kind of terms of GDPR they put in there. So we hope that they encourage the attendees to share their email address within their terms. So that's the type of data that can be sent over. However, if there is a scenario where that data isn't included at a registration level, then what we can do is switch to the manual data input mode, where your attendees at the booth not only can scan the badge, they could ask, do you mind if we take your email address so that we can follow up with you for next week's conversation? But thanks, Isabel, that's a great question. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the questions we have submitted in the chat. We do have 10 more minutes here, so if you do have time, please do feel free to keep publishing your questions. Here we go. So is there a way to customize reports in Cvent to create a report which brings back the data we are most interested in? Yes, there is. So reporting is something that Cvent really excels in and takes a lot of pride in. So included on the standard license, you would have multiple reports that you could run. You can then customize that depending on what fields are important to you. So we could customize the report to relate it back to the registration type. If you wanted to coordinate to that, you can look at gathering other information, for instance, the merchant report to see the financials of that. It really does depend on what fields are important to you, but that's something that you can either build on the Cvent templates, or you could work with your account team to set up custom reports. Okay, I'm going to take a pause there to see if there are any final questions from the audience. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you everyone that took time out of their day to join us today. If you would like to share today's learnings with the rest of your team, don't forget that you can download today's deck from the resources section on the right side of the panel. And just a final reminder that if you would like to schedule a demonstration on the back of today's session, Cvent are offering an Amazon gift card as a thank you. But thank you to all of our attendees that joined today and wishing you a great day ahead.